Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rachak Wadash. A double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone, who rule very well, very beautifully. Double salutations to the Akim out here pushing this gospel in truth and in sincerity to the best of their ability, given to them by Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. Peace, blessings, and salutations be unto the elect scattered abroad. May the election of Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Lord willing, fall upon all your houses. Amen. So that that darkness is coming, man. You know, the lights out is coming. You know, and we're gonna go into this article a little bit. Lord's will it is edifying. Lord will it is straight to the point. Hey, but that darkness that was in Egypt, you know, in ancient Egypt, hey, that darkness is coming again. You know, it says right here, it says White House warns of evolving intelligence suggesting Russia could conduct cyber attacks against the United States. Hey, now we know ultimately this is a a false flag situation. You know, and when it does happen, it's gonna be a false flag situation, which a false flag situation ultimately means a situation that is basically blamed on a person or a country that has had no dealings in this situation. You know, they never committed the act. They never did, whatever was done, but yet they're being blamed. That's a false flag situation, right? And this is exactly what is exactly what we're seeing the buildup of, Esau Edom's, false flag situation, which we know is ultimately going to provoke, and intensify, World War III. But, then it also allows for Esau Edom, to basically bring about this reset, of this internet, to help pave way for that, that Karagba, man, but nonetheless, we're going to read just a little bit, not too much. It says, President JB on Monday urged private sector partners to strengthen their cyber defenses immediately, pointing to evolving intelligence that suggests Russia could conduct malicious cyber activity against American companies in critical infrastructure. Right. So pay attention, ultimately to, their so-called evidence, right? Because really they have no evidence. It says, while the Biden administration has been warning the nation of the prospect of a cyber attacks by Russia for months, most recently as a response to the economic restrictions imposed on Russia over its invasion of Ukraine, the president's statement suggests evolving intelligence has heightened the threat. The details of exactly what the intelligence is remains unclear, but Deputy National Security Advisor Ann Neuberger said during Monday's White House briefing that Russia has been conducting preparatory activity for cyber attacks, which she said could include scanning websites and hunting for software vulnerabilities. Right, man. So ultimately, they have no evidence, man. And they have no evidence. Keep going. It says Neuberger said the administration is reiterating its warnings based on evolving threat intelligence that the Russian government is exploring options for potential cyber attacks on critical infrastructure in the United States, but also underscored that there is no certainty that there will be a cyber incident on critical infrastructure, right? And I'm just going to continue to read through to get to the points. There's only a couple points. It says the administration last week, the administration last week hosted classified briefings with companies, blah, blah, blah. That's not the point. Okay. That's not the point. Slakia, just getting to a point. Right, because they ultimately go into, how, in explaining, how Russia used, cyber attacks on the Ukraine to help, basically further, their invasion, which ultimately, Russia's a huge power, man. They got a huge military, they got a lot of, nuclear weapons, so on and so forth. Why the hell would they need to take down, basically the government, as far as, their infrastructure and stuff like that to help take it over. They've doing, man. They just go in there and fucking bully this country around, man, and shoot off a few rockets and this, that, and the third. They don't really, they don't need to take down the infrastructure. They'll take down the infrastructure and rebuild it back, physically, rather than, indirectly, you know. Um, there was one I wanted to get into. Yeah, I'll just restart right here. So, Ukrainian government agencies have been hit by a series of cyber attacks before and after the Russian invasion, but not the level of hacking that some analysts feared. Cyber attacks have nonetheless played a supporting role in the war. As the Russian military began attacking Ukraine on February 24th, satellite modems that provide internet service for tens of thousands of customers in Europe, including some in Ukraine, were taken offline in a cyber attack on U.S. telecommunications provider Viasat. The U.S. government is investigating the hack of Viasat as a potential Russian state-sponsored cyber attack. A U.S. Official familiar with the matter previously told CNN. Right, so they're basically assuming this. Now we know ultimately this is all done, by the elites. Second Corinthians, chapter 2 and verse 11. We're not ignorant of Satan's devices. We understand that this is a false flag situation. And so they're ultimately conjuring up, these situations and blaming it on Russia. Like it says, it's potential, Russian state-sponsored cyber attack, right? They don't necessarily, their information isn't necessarily solid, right? In the next paragraph, it says Neuberger on Monday did not identify who was responsible for that hack. She said U.S. officials continue to investigate the incident. So if you're ultimately investigating the incident, how do you know that it's a Russian state-sponsored, hack, man? This is proof that these damn devils, all they're doing is just blaming, Russia for something that Russia has not even done, or blaming Russia for something that is coming, and what is going to be done, because this ultimately is going to be done, as we go, and read in the scriptures. And back in ancient times, back in ancient Egypt, what happened? It went dark. There was no lights, And so, we're in spiritual Egypt now. So that situation has to happen again, obviously just in a different fashion, a fashion that is, more modern, more up to times, which will be what, basically, a hit on the, sort of the, what is I thinking about, man? It's fucking bodies, man. Weak as hell, man. But basically the internet, the connections that are, shutting down everything as far as electrical, possibly EMP or, something like that, man. A cyber attack where it shuts down the whole grid, and basically shuts everything down as if an EMP had hit, shutting down your cars, shutting down, your phones, your TVs, so on and so forth, right? Basically going back to the Stone Ages, so to speak. That situation is going to hit, man, But yeah, that's basically, y'all can go and read the rest of this on your own. You can look it up. But again, this is a false flag situation, man, which is ultimately going to bring forth, that lights out situation, man. That darkness, which was in ancient Egypt, man. Which again, we're in spiritual Egypt. That darkness is coming again. I just want to grab a few scriptures just to reel in the point. It's 2 Esdras 15 and verse 10. It's, behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt, right? And we're in, spiritual Egypt, right? And I think in Revelations, the 11th chapter calls it, America, spiritual Sodom and Egypt, right? So we're in Egypt. You look on the American dollar, it's got that fucking pyramid on it, man. And then you look at, a lot of these, I think it was Tracy Morgan, not Tracy Morgan. Yeah, I think it was Tracy Morgan. He was at a basketball game and he ultimately had, a pharaoh, chain on, man, So more proof that, we're living in Egypt, man, But verse 11, it says, but I will bring them with a mighty hand. It's like, let me turn up my brightness, man. I don't know why it keeps adjusting like that, It says, 2 Esdras 15:11 says, but I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. Hey, well, guess what? Egypt was already plagued, man. But this isn't talking about Egypt again. This is talking about America, man. Because again, spiritual Egypt. Revelations, the 11th chapter. Again, I think it's the verse 8, the eighth verse. Talk about this place, that their bodies shall lie, dead in a great city, which is called spiritually Sodom and Egypt, which is talking about America, man. America, Babylon is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt, man. So this is who it's talking about, man. And you go back, into Exodus, the 7th chapter, the 8th chapter, it goes into those plagues that were brought upon, Egypt, ancient Egypt, right? And the last one was what? That darkness, man, and we're seeing a lot of these plagues, having hit America, like the Rona, the earthquakes and certain things that have hit America, man. Hey, but that last plague that's going to hit America is going to be that another one of those plagues, not the last plague, but another one of those plagues that's going to hit America is that darkness, man. And we're gonna read about how it was in ancient Egypt, and it's gonna be the same, if not worse, in this time, man. But I'll read this verse 12. It says, Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that the Most High bring upon it. Right, ultimately, because the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai, He's in control of all things, man. He says, I killeth and I maketh alive. This is what the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai, Yahweh Shem Shai does. Matter of fact, let's grab that. This is Isaiah chapter 45. This is Isaiah chapter 45 and verse 7. It says, I form the light and create darkness. Right. So that darkness that happened, called Lord Yahweh Shem Shai, spirit, but that darkness that had came upon Egypt. Hey, the scriptures even tell you that the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai had done it, man. Hey, so this is further proof, man. Man, I'm so tired of it. I feel like it keeps getting darker. But Isaiah 45 verse 7, it says, I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai, do all these things. Right. So ultimately, this is the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai that's going to bring this upon Egypt, man. And it's going to be a great darkness, man. Hey, because you look at the mind of the people. Hey, these people, they can't live without their phones or their cars or their tablets or anything like the smart smart watches and so on and so forth. Hey, these people can't live without these things, man. Hey, but the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai soon is going to take that away, man. So let's go to Wisdom of Solomon, the 17th chapter, and we're going to get the whole chapter, man. It's not too long, but we're going to get the whole chapter. This is Wisdom of Solomon 17, and this is ultimately going into ancient Egypt. But again, you also got to understand that we're in spiritual Egypt, so this same situation is going to happen. It's just going to happen by way of either Esau Edom shutting down the grid, shutting off all basically electronics, and or Esau Edom having an EMP, or Esau Edom blaming Russia, which again is all obviously done by America and these elites, having an EMP go off and shutting off all electronics, and we're talking about anything that has a chip in it, man. But this is Wisdom of Solomon 17 and verse 1. It says, for greater thy judgments and cannot be expressed, therefore unnurtured souls have erred. For when unrighteous men thought to oppress the holy nation, which is going into Egypt, which is that holy nation, or it's like Egypt, which is the unrighteous men, the holy nation, obviously the Israelites. It says, they being shut up in their houses, the prisoners of darkness, and fettered with bonds of a long night, lay there exiled from the eternal providence, right? So they were covered with, darkness, man. It says, for while they supposed to lie hid in their secret sins, they were scattered under a dark veil of forgetfulness, being horribly astonished and troubled with strange apparitions. Now you go into that word apparitions, it ultimately goes into, like seeing demons, man. Like seeing, which is, a great movie to basically, point that out or give you a depiction of that was Insidious, man. where she would go into the, the dark place, and she would walk around with this light, but she couldn't even see more than like, 6 inches in front of her face. That's how dark it was, man. People couldn't see nothing. You couldn't see your hand. You couldn't see where you were walking. You were bumping into shit. But on top of that, you were also seeing things, man. People were being, hallucinating, man. And that's how the people are going to be now, man. Because again, people are going to be seeing apparitions. People are going to be seeing, demons. I'll continue. Verse 4, it says, "For neither might the corner that held them keep them from fear, but noises as of waters falling down surrounded about them, and sad visions appeared unto them with heavy countenance." Right, man. So, people were, hearing shit. People were seeing shit. People were bugging the hell out, man. It says right here, "No power of the fire might give them light," because the darkness was so strong that light, or the darkness, was sucking up all the light, man. Usually when you go into a non, well lit area, when you light a fire or something like that, the fire lights up the whole area. No, man, it was opposite. The darkness was so thick, it was sucking up all the light, man. It says, "Neither could the bright flames of the stars endure to lighten that horrible night." Right, man. And you look at the city, you look at, just in the outskirts of the city metro area, so on and so forth. And well, guess what, man? The urban areas, these places are lit, man. You got little street lights, this and the third. And when you go out to, outside the city, and we're talking about no lights, no nothing. It's pitch fucking black, man. We're talking about pitch fucking black. You can't see shit. Anything can run up on you, man. You start hearing twigs break, this, that, and the third, and this little, insects, or a snake, or a rabbit, or this, that, and the third, animals that, that are nocturnal, they're moving around, but you can't see them. They can see you, but you can't see them, man. So you're gonna have things moving around, and we're talking about craziness, man. Verse 6, it says, "Only they appeared unto them a fire kindled of itself, very dreadful. For being much terrified, they thought the things which they saw to be worse than they." Slakia. It said they thought the things which they saw to be worse than the sight they saw not. Right, man, because they were seeing some crazy shit, man. Just like the people out here, man. Because you also got to understand, when all that goes to push comes to shove and everything shuts off, you're not gonna have no microwave, no stove, or anything like that to ultimately, cook your food, man. So you're gonna have a lot of food, especially, your fridge. So a lot of food in your fridge is gonna rot. It's gonna get warm. It's gonna, it's gonna either melt, or, this and the third. Your ice is gonna melt fast. So even if you did have ice to keep it cool, it's only gonna last for so long. A lot of your food's gonna rot. So people are not gonna have food, and we're already in a time where famines are starting to get worse, man. So the simple fact that people, already not having too much food, and then it's only going to get worse. When the lights turn off, it's only going to get worse, man. A lot of food is going to rot. Anything that your cooled areas, your cooled food and stuff like that is going to rot immediately. So you're not going to have nothing to keep your food, cold. And if your food rots, you're not going to eat it. And if you do, that's going to aid in, either you seeing, because it's going to get you real sick, man. You're going to throw up. That could aid in you seeing, having hallucinations and this, that, and the third, And so we're talking about, it's going to be, a great time. And when those lights go off, man, it's going to be a great time, man, because Esau, Edom very well could use that time to ultimately, come in and, kick open doors. So while you ain't got no food, while you waking the hell out, while you, seeing shit, being scared, terrified, Esau, Edom is gonna come in there too, man. So it's gonna make that time a whole lot worse, man. Continuing on in verse 7, it says, "As for the illusions of art magic, they were put down, and their vaunting in wisdom was reproved with disgrace. For they that promised to drive away terrors and troubles from a sick soul were sick themselves of fear, worthy to be laughed at." Right, man. Damn, man. Wow, man. Hey, the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai, man. The Lord Yahweh Shem Shai, man. He knows how to punish some people, man. He knows how to bring out that judgment, man. You know? Verse 9, it says, "For though no terrible thing did fear them, yet being scared with beasts that pass by and hissing of serpents." Right, man. This is all, you hearing this. You're not necessarily seeing this, and you're hearing it, man. You know? It says right here, they died for fear, denying that they saw the air, which could of no side be avoided. Right, man. So these people were, so scared that they were just dying, man. And you got to understand, this could be a time where Esau Edom could use that. Esau Edom, he could call this false flag situation and then use that situation once it happens or once he executes it to come in and push this, this charagma. And we know not too much longer after that, hey, it's going to be a time, when Yahweh Shai comes, man, because World War III is already started. We're just waiting for that peak area. Right when this charagma hits, hey, that's when it's going to pop off. And we know at the same, at the peak of World War III, Yahweh Shai is going to come. And so this is going to be within a very short period of time of each other, man, So you're going to be seeing, all, chariots, you're going to see nuclear missiles. You're going to be seeing all these things. Like it says, man, their hearts failing them, men's hearts failing them for fear, man, and we're coming into that time, man, and you can't avoid it, man. You can't avoid it, man. This is going to happen. Verse 11, it says, "For wickedness condemned by her own witness is very timorous, and being pressed with conscience." It's like it being pressed with conscience always forecasteth grievous things. It says, "For fear is nothing else but a betraying of the succor which reason offereth, and the expectation from within being less, counteth the ignorance more than the cause which bringeth the torment. But they sleeping in the same sleep, that night, which was indeed intolerable, and which came upon them out of the bottoms of an inevitable hell, were partly vexed with monstrous apparitions," right, seeing monsters, "and partly fainted, their hearts failing them, for a sudden fear and not looked for came upon them. So then whosoever there fell down was straitly kept, shut up in a prison without iron bars. For whether he were husbandman or shepherd or a laborer in the field, he was overtaken and endured that necessity which could not be avoided. For they were all bound with one chain of darkness." Right, everyone, man. This covered all of Egypt, man. This covered all of Egypt. There was no one that was able to escape this darkness, man. Just like in, when this darkness come, when the lights come, when the lights, go out here in America, ain't no one's going to be able to escape it, man. The only ones that are going to be, mentally stable in those times are going to be the elect, man. Wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and the strength of salvation, man. Everybody else is gonna wig the hell out, man. Hey, but the men of the Lord are gonna practice the Sirach, the second chapter, man, where it says, "Make not haste in the time of trouble." Hey, we're gonna be good, man. Lord, will we be part of the elect? Hey, we're gonna be walking in wisdom. Everybody else is gonna be wigging the hell out. Hey, while we're gonna be walking smooth criminal, man. Verse 18 says, "Whether it were a whistling wind, or a melodious noise of birds among the spreading branches, or a pleasing fall of water running violently, or a terrible sound of stones cast down, or a running that could not be seen of skipping beasts, or a roaring voice of most savage wild beasts, or a rebounding echo from the hollow mountains, these things made them to swoon for fear." Right, man. Whether it was a good noise or whether it was a bad noise, they were in fear, man, period, man, because they couldn't see shit, man. You don't know what's running up on you, man. You don't know what's jingling, dancing around you, you don't know if something's gonna, you hearing wild beasts roar and this, that, and the third, and, so on and so forth, and you don't know if they're coming after you, man. You can hear them getting closer and closer and closer, and right up in your ear, and you're just, you're tripping, man. You're so scared, you don't know what to do, man. But then you hear some other creepy noise, You know, and then you hear some other creepy noise, and they all sound like they're getting closer, dancing around you, and then they disappear. And then complete silence. You know, even silence alone will drive people crazy, man. You know? But then you hear some crazier noise, and then you, come on, man. We're talking about straight fear, man. You know? People not knowing what the hell to do, man. Straight fucking fear, man. You know? I continue on. It says, for the whole world shined and with a clear light, and none were hindered in their labor. Over them only was spread in heavy night an image of that darkness which should afterwards receive them, but yet were they unto themselves more grievous than the darkness. Right, man? You know, people were killing themselves. You know, people were going fucking crazy. You know, people were just dying because of the, of fear. You know, and we're talking about some crazy shit that's coming, man. You know, and this is one of those plagues that had hit Egypt. You know, which the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai, as we read, is going to, Lord Yahweh Shem Shai is going to plague Egypt, with it again, man. You know, except it's, this time it's going to come by way of, the grid being shut down. Esau Edom, causing a false flag situation, shutting down the grid, or shooting off an EMP, shutting everything down, man. Hey, that darkness is coming, man. And you got to pay attention, man. Hey, you got to prepare, man. You got to mentally prepare, man. Let me grab this last precept. This is Sirach chapter 2 and verse 17. It says, they that fear the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, will prepare their hearts, which, prepare means to ultimately to equip in advance for some, reason or purpose, man. And you need to get this wisdom, knowledge, or understanding, for the times that we're coming to, because again, Isaiah 33:6, wisdom and knowledge shall be a stability of thy times and strength and salvation. Now, ultimately, you have to, keep the faith. Hey, but this wisdom and knowledge is going to help you move the way that you need to move, man, in these times, So that's what you need to gather, in your mind, because it says will prepare their hearts. Hearts goes into the Hebrew word lab, which, it's obviously talking about your mind, right? So you're going to gather this wisdom, knowledge, understanding, within your mind, within the, the depths of your mind, and constantly meditate on it, man. King David even said, I will meditate continually upon thy precepts, man. And that's what we need to do, man. Because the precepts of the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai is that wisdom and knowledge that we need in order to walk correctly in the times to come. Everybody else that don't get this wisdom, knowledge, or understanding are going to bug the hell out, man. It says, they that fear the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashim Shai will prepare their hearts and humble their souls in his sight, right, man? Because ultimately the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashim Shai will, have mercy upon whom he'll have mercy, man. And we beg Yahweh Ba'ashim Shai, that he has mercy upon us and protect us in the times to come, man. Because we need that mercy, man. The sure mercies of King David, man. But yeah, man, this you need to watch, man. Pay attention to what's going on, man. False flag situation is about to arise, man. So hey, keep your eyes open. Hey, keep praying, keep watching, keep doing what you need to do, man. Keep the faith. Most importantly, man, keep the faith. So with that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rachak Wadash. A double honors to the other apostles and the other bishops of Great Millstone, who rule very well, very beautifully. Double salutations to the Akim out here pushing this gospel in truth and in sincerity to the best of their ability, given to them by Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai. Peace, blessings, and salutations be unto the elect scattered abroad. May the election of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai, Lord willing, fall upon their houses. I want to say Kwame Yasharala and Abba Shalom.